Hey guys, it's Paul Jang. Just gonna go over top five mistakes for beginners. What are those things? So the first one, and there is okay. The first one is not using a mailing service. For most of you getting started, I do not recommend having a VA call in landowners. I don't recommend you get property from the MLS or on a land listing site. I recommend that you go out and mail um, to a certain county to certain landowners and you not doing it yourself. And so what I mean by that is there's different mailing company services that will let you basically they'll if you give them a template, they'll funnel the information you give them on the owner's information, the parcel number, all these details that are needed. And you send a letter of interest like, hey, I'm interested in buying your land. Would you be interested in selling it? That service can be done automatically in multiple different places. And I still see, I'm not going to name names, but I still see at least one who isn't using a mailing service. Uh, a friend of ours paid a course, didn't ask me, but paid a course $5,000, and I think he spent like a weekend hand, you know, printing, letters out, mailing it, putting a stamp on it, putting an envelope in it, mailing it, and doing that 100 at a time. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that is a serious waste of time. So, not using a mailing service is one of the biggest mistakes. And, you know, I'll say specifically mailing. There's texting, text messaging campaign. There's all these things you can do, but this is kind of the bread and butter that I think everyone should focus on, especially in the beginning. So, number two, it's getting software that isn't needed. Now, I think that the land investing world is becoming more um, competitive. There's a lot more services available. Information's getting better, but there's a lot of software out there, a lot of things that you can try out that aren't necessary. And in the beginning, it's hard to tell exactly what you really need and what you don't. And like the land course I have in the description just goes through the fundamentals, the bare necessity things that you need to get going without all the extra gadgets. Now, if you want that, you can get another course, etc. I'll give you some of it. When I started, I used years back. I used a system called Landspeed. They did my mailers for me. I paid them $50. Um, the guy who has it is Howard Zonder. I think he's great, but his more premium software is like $200 a month. I don't think it's really worth it, especially if you're in the beginning stages. It's really not necessary. I use Pebble right now for my CRM. It's like $200 a month. Let me see here. Pebble REI. 209 a month, billed annually, right? 229 a month, 449 if you're a pro. Is this necessary when you are getting started? No. This is not in the course. You should not touch this at all in the beginning. That's my personal opinion. There are those that are like, go gung ho in the beginning, but I just think when you get going, you need to place um, small bets in different spots, and it's better to put your money in a piece of land, a property, an asset, than it is with a bunch of gadgets. There's different ones out there. I use MapRight. Do I recommend MapRight? No, it's a little bit more on the expensive end. There's cheaper mapping software out there. There's all these different software, and they will try selling you on it. I use GeekPay. I used to use Moonclerk. There's payment softwares, all these different things that you might need to consider that aren't necessary in the beginning. Do you need a website? Well, REI Conversion will sell you a website. Let me see here. I can't find it. I think they have it on their other platform. But is it necessary? I love the founder. He's like really cool. His name's Jesse. But would I pay $50 a month for it? It's not necessary. So number three, not reaching enough landowners. What I mean by that is people think if you just reach out to 50 or 100, landowners that you'll get a deal. It's not the case. I would say on average, it's like between 2,000 to 3,000 mailers reaching out to them to get a deal. But it's dependent on the county. Like I found some counties are kind of like a wash. It doesn't even matter. Like they will not respond to you. Maybe it's been hit up by too many land investors, or maybe they're not interested, right? But you'll find some counties are a lot more receptive, and the other counties where it's not the case, not as much. So, not reaching enough landowners. Whether you're doing the mailers that I'm recommending, or some text messaging campaign, or calling, it's you're not reaching enough landowners. So number four, you're not effectively marketing for sales. Now you could do Facebook ads, you could do YouTube, you could do all these things, but let me tell you what most people are doing. They are going on Google, and what they're doing is this: land for sale in some place, county in that state. Or, if they're going to be specific, it's going to be like the city, San Antonio, Texas, right? Like that's what it is. And if you look, let me tell you, if you it's Zillow, Realtor, Landwatch, Redfin, Trulia, Lands of America. They're going on Google, and you need to be on these platforms. I'll say Zillow and Realtor are more for the MLS. So if you get on the MLS, you'll show up on these platforms like Landwatch, and Lands of America is a land listing site. You need to get on these, right? You need to showcase the land that you have available for sale. Now, there's other places, but I'd say you need to do the essential spots first, ideally. Um, if you can't, you're going to do Facebook Marketplace, right? So number five, you don't have a mentor or a group, and what I mean by that is there's going to be things that come up in your land investing, business, or whenever you're starting, and you're going to need someone to guide you, someone that you could use as a resource. You could use me. You put it in the comments on YouTube, or join our Facebook group, right? And in the description below, and I'll be that person for you. It's the cost of my cold brew right now. It's going to become more expensive, right? But whether it's a group, you find some mastermind, you pay for it, or you join in on something, or you find someone, you need someone to basically run off ideas with, and kind of help you narrow down like exactly how you're going to go about this business. There's people that focus on owner financing exclusively, some people on cash exclusively, some people with option agreements or extended contracts, some people on buying it with JVs, right? Or using their own capital and financing it with debt. There's people that do bigger properties, smaller properties, get into a little bit of land development like subdivisions or entitlements. There's so many opportunities here there, and you need to zone in on one thing that you're going to do for a little bit and adjust from there. Basically start adjusting and see where you kind of like your spot, and you'll find that you'll have trends. Like depending on the market, you might prefer going one way, and then the market kind of changes, or your life stage changes, and you're gonna go a little bit bigger, right? So it's like having someone to run across thoughts with you is pretty important. So I would say having that. Now, with that said, right, these are the top five mistakes that I see with beginners. It's things that I've seen in myself and with other people. Um, a course will, shrink that gap for you. I have one in the description below, but there's other ones out there. Go check them out. There's podcasts, Facebook groups. See what you drive with, right? What are the ones that you feel like, oh, this is good, and just go with it. You'll find that different people have different thoughts in terms of their style. But these are some of the core ones that I see that some of the other courses, like at least I see it as like they'll jam you in with a bunch of things that are kind of unnecessary, especially in the beginning. So just kind of laser in on the important things what are the important things? Finding deals, landowners willing to sell at your price point, and then marketing it so you could sell it. That is the bread and butter. So everything else is kind of fluff to help you with that process, right? So you have to determine what are the things that are going to be important to you. And there's always cost measures in terms of this. Like, in the beginning, you're doing small, I would say you should place small bets on multiple lots and try a little bit of different things and get comfortable with it, get proof of concept, these kind of things, and you just scale up, get a little bit bigger, do a little bit more, right? And uh, those are some of my thoughts in terms of, when you're going about this business. But that's it. I appreciate your time. Subscribe and like this video. At a little over 100. I appreciate all of you guys that have subscribed. Take care. Have a good one.